Okafor might have known Rick Grimes for years, but he couldn't make out of the premiere episode years alive. And now we are here to ask the question, did Donald Okafor die too early in The Ones Who Live? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. And unfortunately, Okafor is no longer one of those people that live. He died towards the end of the first episode, the end of the premiere, the big shocking death of the episode, probably the only real death of the episode. He takes like a big grenade kind of launcher through the chest, then he explodes. His body is just like spread across the entire cockpit of the helicopter. You've got blood, guts, skin, you name it. Every single piece of Donald Okafor is covering every single piece of the chopper, and we say goodbye to, like I said, one of the most interesting characters I think we've seen The Walking Dead introduced in a long time. But we're here to ask the question, should he have got more time? Should he have lasted longer? Should he have been a series regular in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live? And of course, ultimately, did Donald Okafor die too early?
Yeah, Big Donald. We're not going to sit here and pretend that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, even though you could probably spread him on it, but
how many how many loaves of bread could you cover with the guts that
I need to see the remains of Black Hawk Down before. Maybe we'll see it in episode 2, right? But The Walking Dead, I think, has had a really poor job of introducing characters. I think apart from like Negan, that's like the last big one. I mean, you've got people like Eugene, Rosita, who lasted like 130 episodes, and they're I mean, I would actually go as far as saying that they just never felt like as impactful as this guy. And I'm not even saying this guy's fantastic, but he left like a presence on the screen. He had an impact on Rick immediately. Like, how many times did Rick even interact with Rosita and Eugene?
Yeah, they kind of just tagged along with Rick, but you don't feel like Rick. They weren't really major players for Rick. No, they were just there. They were in the background.
130 episodes, right, is about 50 or 40 more than what the average TV show lasts in its entirety. And what have those two brought to the table? And there's more than just those two. Like, if you break that down, 130 episodes of mediocrity, this guy comes in with one. The one and only Donald Okafor.
We have all these new characters, we have all these new questions, and we have all these new groups. Is Donald Okafor an A, or is he a B? Well, after the premiere, it's fair to say he is a C. See you on the other side, because he's no longer with us, and I think they should have kept this guy around longer. You're bringing a brand new show out. You want to try and get that core group of the new show. You want to build characters so that when you do kill them off, it's a big death, it's impactful. And while I did like Okafor, and while his death was surprising, and while I think that Rick Grimes may actually care, and we may get to see the aftermath of Okafor's death and the impact that it could potentially have on Rick Grimes, and the fact that his wife is actually the one that killed Okafor. So while that can certainly create a dilemma for Rick going forward, I think it would have just been better had Okafor made it towards the end and we get to see more of the guy. Yes, him and Rick may have been close, him and Rick may have bonded over the years, pun intended, but we didn't get to see that. It was all like crammed in to a 50-minute episode premiere. Yeah, and while we got to see bits of Okafor, you can't expect us to care about a character dying in less than 1 hour at the same rate that Rick would someone he spent 6-7 years with. So, I mean, I liked the character, I thought he had potential, but still, it's a character that's died, it's a 1 episode only character. How many characters in The Walking Dead history have only been in 1 episode and we put in like a top tier, like an S tier, A tier, or even B tier? It's very hard to have only 1 episode and make a great impression, a lasting impression. Despite his efforts, it could just be by the end of this 6-episode season 1 series that he's pretty much forgotten about, and we've got other characters in the show and Okafor just becomes a distant memory. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope that he does go down as one of the better characters, but again, he had 1 episode to make a big impact, and while he did, how can he last that? How can he drag that out over the next 5? Doesn't make sense to me. I think this guy had potential. Don't think they should have killed him. You look at Shane in the comics. Shane in the comics isn't considered a great character. He's not considered one of the best characters because he dies so early, whereas in the show, he gets 2 seasons, and in my eyes, he's probably the best Walking Dead character character of all time. Doesn't matter how good you are, you need time to make an impact. You need time to be great. And sadly, Okafor just didn't get that time. But here is what it is. For a one-episode character, I think he done a good job. But I would have liked to have seen him last longer.
Yeah, he did do a good job. But here, you can't talk about Shane, all right? This is about Okafor. I got shot down when I talked about the big man, Eugene and Rosita. So I'll throw that logic straight back at you. But let's talk about Eastman, because he's a one-episode player. But at least his impact lasted with Morgan taking up that gimmick of, well, I see red and I don't kill people, Rick. He just beats him with a stick. So at least his legacy lived on. Is Okafor's legacy going to live on? When Rick's spreading fucking lure pack on his wee toasties, is he going to be like, that's for you, Okafor, born to retail?
I feel like this video's whacked me with a stick. And on that note, guys, we will catch you in the next one. Leave a comment, leave a like, lots more Walking Dead, the ones who live content to come soon. Till then, though, peace.